Tamaklo, Deputy Director General in charge of technical operations at the Cybersecurity Authority, Stephen Kujo Seshi, and Head of Internal Affairs at Haptel, Ebenezer before the Digital Economy Forum. The Trust Crisis, Why Fraud is Holding Back Ghana's Digital Economy, brought to you in partnership with Haptel. It's happening on Wednesday, July 22nd at 8 p.m. live on Joy News, Joy FM, and across our social media platforms. Welcome to the program. More than 24 hours after the arrest of former Chief Executive Officer of the National Food Buffer Stock Company, Hanan Abdul-Wahab, his lawyers are filing an application to compel the Bureau of National Investigations, BNI, to produce him. Hanan Abdul-Wahab was arrested on Sunday night at the Accra International Airport while preparing to board a flight to the United Kingdom. According to Deputy Attorney General Sremsai, who announced the arrest in a Facebook post, Abdul Hanan was arrested after allegedly attempting to empty one of his frozen accounts on Thursday. The allegation has, however, been rejected by his lawyer, Godfred Yeboadame, who has threatened to cite the Attorney General, his deputy, and the BNI Director General for contempt.
First place, there has been no attempt by Hanan Abdul-Wahab to withdraw any money from any account of his. Secondly, no account of his is frozen in the Republic of Ghana. I mean, thirdly, a court of law has given an order, essentially giving him permission to travel out of the jurisdiction for medical purposes. And the Attorney General is aware of it. The Attorney General was actually in court. The Deputy Attorney General was in court. He argued. After hearing the argument, the trial judge granted his order, permitting him to travel. If the Attorney General is dissatisfied by the grant of the order for him to travel, they should have filed an appeal against the order. So there is no basis at all for his arrest. It's just an act of impunity. And now I can understand that the Attorney General is actually behind all the violations of human rights in the country. Yes, he himself owned up to it. And in owning up to it, he lied, clearly. The statement on Facebook by the Deputy Attorney General was a complete lie. Now, for instance, that the Attorney General himself, who clearly issued an order for his arrest, is in contempt of court. And I'm going to file contempt of court proceedings against Dr. Ayini as well as Sremsai personally, as the Director General of BNI.
Well, that's the former Attorney General Godfred Dame, who, in an interview with journalists at the BNI office on Saturday, said that he has been denied access to his client since his arrest.
We were not given the opportunity to see our clients at all. Indeed, we were told flatly that they don't allow lawyers to see their clients on weekends. And that's quite perplexing. I'm surprised. If a person is arrested, say on Friday night or Saturday, he will be in without access to counsel. I mean, that's the republic in which we live now. And indeed, he's been picked up for no reason. As far as someone said, just been banded off into custody for no reason whatsoever. He's been given the right to leave the country, to travel to the country for a few days by a court of competent jurisdiction. The Deputy Attorney General himself was in court and argued, and this colleague of mine argued that day. And if indeed he had any objection to the order granted, he only had to appeal. But he had to resort to this surreptitious means of preventing from traveling. I think that this is totally unwarranted and unnecessary. There's no order of any court of competent jurisdiction preventing from accessing his account. Okay. The only order that they had was procured over a year ago before the discontinuance of the earlier prosecution. And we have a court ruling, a ruling of the High Court at Denta about 3 weeks ago to the effect that that order has lapsed. And that if the Attorney General indeed desires to come for a fresh freezing order, he has to apply to the court. He has not done so. There is no order of any court preventing from accessing his funds. Be that as it may, he has not accessed any funds at all. He should produce to the public, to the whole Ghanaian Republic, for us to see the manner in which he claims Hanan attempted to withdraw any money from the account.
Well, his lawyers, we are learning, are filing a habeas corpus, an application to compel the law enforcement agencies to immediately produce him before a judge in court. We'll be speaking to private legal practitioner Martin Pegbu for more on that. But in the meantime, though, I've been joined in the studio by my colleague Fatal Bayaga, who just returned from the court. Fatal, have you cited the application? And what more should we know?
Ken, before midday, we had information from Godfred Yeboadame, who said that he was going to file this particular application But as I speak with you, I'm here to cite this document that he's spoken about. And, you know, interestingly, before we engage him, he said that he wasn't happy with how the BNI is treating his client, among other things. In fact, yesterday he said he was at the BNI, you know, office, and in fact, he wasn't granted access to his client at that point. And he also spoke about the fact that even he left 3 contacts with the BNI office that they should contact him in case of any development for him to have access to his client. That hasn't happened. But interestingly, Ken, this particular application, I have sent him a message. I have called him several times. He's yet to, you know, respond to all of that, to tell us exactly whether he has filed this application or not. He only hinted that he was going to do that. Until now, it is unclear as to whether Godfred Yeboadame headed to the Accra High Court to file this application to compel the BNI to produce Hanan, put him before, you know, a judge for a hearing. We've not, you know, gotten that information.
That's quite interesting. Let's talk about the Attorney General. Has the AG filed that application for review of Hanan's travel order yet?
Interestingly, yesterday the Deputy Attorney General, you know, wrote on his Facebook page that they were going to be back in court this morning to, you know, hear, or for the court to hear that particular review application. And Ken, I was in court. I engaged an officer from the AG's office, and basically he told me that they were yet to file this particular application. A lot of us were a bit, you know, surprised, because the AG was quite clear on that particular post on Facebook that today they will all be in court. And after speaking with the AG's officer, I also spoke with Dami just to get to appreciate whether he, you know, also spoke with the AG's office and all of that. And he told me that he had not received any notice from the AG saying that they should be come back to court today for a hearing in relation to this particular application.
Let's talk about Chairman Wontumi. We understand that he has a number of cases in court. Which one was talked about today? What happened?
Ken, Wontumi currently is in the middle of 3 cases. The Samara Boy case, which the judgment is set for July 20, and also the Tano Nimri, which at the moment is still going through cross-examination. Today he was in court for the Exim Bank, the 30 million Ghana cedis, you know, Exim Bank case. And basically, the last time when they were in court, the judge gave them 2 weeks for them to negotiate, to talk, discuss, and then come back to court and update the court on the progress of that particular case. They came to court today, and the prosecution led by Senior State Attorney at the AG's office, Joseph Saki, told the court that you know, they are still negotiating. They've not you know, completed the discussions, and they will need more time. So he prayed for adjournment, and then when he did that, they called Hanan Abdul-Wahab Bassett, then asked you know, Wontumi's lawyers led by Andy Apiakobi whether, you know, he could confirm to the court that this was what was happening, and then Andy Apiakobi confirmed that, and then the prosecution suggested that, okay, they will come back on the 20th of July for an update on the progress of this particular case. And the Apiakobi said he will be traveling by then. They suggested 24th. He said he wouldn't be around, and then they finally settle on July 27th when these parties will be back to court just to update the court on the progress of this high-profile case.
Fatal Bayaga reports to us from the courts. Thank you very much, Fatal. Let's get some perspectives on this. And joining me on Zoom, as I mentioned earlier, is private legal practitioner Martin Pebu. Martin, grateful for your time this afternoon. There's been a lot of talks about the latest arrest of Abdul Hanan. We understand that there is a habeas corpus. Can you help us understand what that term means? Hello, Martin. Martin, can you hear me? Kindly unmute your microphone so you can hear me. We're still trying to establish connection with private legal practitioner Martin Pebu there. And I understand we have clear connection with him. We've lost him again. And we try to reconnect with Martin Pebu on the line. But in the meantime, let's go to the Deputy General Secretary of the Opposition MPP, Haruna Mohammed. Haruna, before I come to you, I understand we have Martin Kpebu back on the line. Martin, I want you to respond so that I know that I have you. Do I have you?
Yes. Yes, I'm saying habeas corpus. Okay, habeas corpus simply means bring out the body. Okay, bring out the body. And the context is that then the person who is applied is making an allegation that a state authority, law enforcement agency has unlawfully taken somebody. So when you file habeas corpus, it means that bring out the body that has been illegally taken into custody. That's its literal meaning. So what happens then is that when the person is brought to court, the state agency that has him in custody will justify to the court why they have him in custody. So if the justification is tenable in law, then maybe the detention will continue. But if it's untenable in law, maybe it's beyond 48 hours, etc., then the judge may admit the person to bail. So it all depends on the justification the state agency will come and give, and whether that justification is tenable in law or is untenable.
Let's look at the circumstances surrounding his latest arrest. The Attorney General says that he was attempting to withdraw funds from a frozen account. Is it even possible to be able to attempt to withdraw funds from an account that has been frozen?
Okay, so what we should say is that because this is a fluid situation, right? If you ask me, so I can only answer in law, legally.
Okay.
Yes, there can be an attempt, but so I'm not talking about Hanan's own, whether he did it or not, because I don't have the evidence. But when I say, can there be an attempt to withdraw funds from an account that is frozen? Yes, the attempt is when you go into a bank, you pick a slip, and then the account number, you fill in the form, okay, that you want to take money from that account number. Or if it's a check, if you draw a check on that account, or ATM, you put in ATM, you want to withdraw. So as for attempting, you can attempt, but so whether you succeed or not is another thing. So maybe wait, when the evidence comes, then we can be categorical.
Now, his lawyer, Godfrey Dami, says that he's been, prevented from seeing his client. It's been 24 hours since he was detained by the BNI. How long do you think he should stay with BNI before he's produced before the court of law?
So in law, they have a maximum of 48 hours, maximum. And this is the key thing. So that's the Supreme Court decision in Martin Kpebu number 4 versus Attorney General number 4. The law says that maximum of 48 hours. But Ken, let's do this. The key thing, that's so for Akufo's valedictory judgment, one judgment that sets her apart, in terms of our quest for better human rights. The Supreme Court was clear that if it's clear to you, you don't want to give the person bail, sometimes you can make up your mind that this person, when I get him, let's speak bluntly, like the way we say locally, in the mindset, this person, if I get him, I will not grant him bail unless he goes to court. Then the court is saying that as soon as you get him, then put him before the court. Don't wait till 48 hours. Because if 48 hours come or strike whilst it's still in your hands and you've not entered court, it's a breach. So it means that the moment you get him, start preparing and enter court. Be in court before the 48 hours elapse. Okay, that's a clear distinction. Yeah, so that's what the law says. And then the weekends, you don't exclude weekends and public holidays. No.
Okay.
The Supreme Court says 48 hours is 48 hours. Whether public holiday, weekends, the judicial service is on strike or not, 48 is 48. So for that one, that's the law. And so far, I don't think the BNI is gone outside the 48, have they?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Now, the former Attorney General is saying that he's been denied access to his client. Does that amount to a violation of the suspect's constitutional rights to a lawyer?
Well, this particular one, I can once again answer only in terms of principle because we don't have the evidence. I don't want to go and say something and then the evidence turns out. You remember, let's caution ourselves. When the Chief Justice Tokonu's case came, we're told that lawyer Dukusi was excluded. He was excluded. Then we started saying, oh, it's against Chief Justice Tokonu's rights. Later, the record was produced and it showed that the lawyer didn't have, they said he had no authority to represent her. That's how he was excluded. So we are all learning. I don't need to rush and make statements that will turn out to be false. If it turns out that the facts are that they won't allow him, that one too, they can sue. So it's all about the evidence. I won't stick out my neck to go and say something and then tomorrow the transcript or the record will be produced and then to show that we went ahead of ourselves. So I don't want to. But the key thing is that a lawyer must have reasonable access to the client in custody. So if that reasonable access is denied, that's also a matter that they can sue. Yes, so it's within their rights if they have the evidence that they were denied.
Well, this issue first came to light when the Deputy Attorney General Justice Sremsai posted it on his Facebook. Others are saying that with the Deputy AG publicly commenting on ongoing investigations like this, could it affect the fairness of the legal process, maybe?
Oh, no, nowadays, maybe, please, can you repeat the question? Let me see.
So Justice Sremsai was the first to publicly comment about this. He posted it on his Facebook that this is what has happened and they've arrested Abdul Hanan. There are those who are raising the questions that a Deputy Attorney General publicly commenting on investigations like this could affect the fairness of the legal process. Is that something you agree with?
No. I don't.
Okay.
Because rather, I think we'll commend him for putting out information because, Ken Gyasi, look, there are times that you roam the whole of Accra looking for your client and you don't find the client. You can go to, they'll tell you this police station, you go, the person is not there. Then they'll tell you go to BNI. You go, BNI say, no, we don't know. Then they say national security. So if not for anything at all, the fact that Sremsai says, oh, he's in so and so custody, it's a master stroke. We should be forthcoming with more information. When the Deputy Attorney General says the person is in custody, he's been arrested, how does that prejudice investigations? I don't know. Maybe the person meant something. He should clarify. It's possible, but the way the question is being asked, rather we would commend them because as practicing lawyers, look, sometimes we have a hell of a time trying to find where the person is. They will say Yoko. You go to Yoko, the person is not there. They say BNI. BNI says no, not here. National security, police headquarters. No. So rather, on the balance, I'm thinking that this information is helpful.
Martin, I want you to hold on for me. Let me bring in Harun Idris, who is the Deputy General Secretary of Haruna Mohammed, I beg your pardon, is the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP. Haruna, welcome to the program. What is your party's position on the arrest of Abdul Hanan?
Thank you very much. We say good afternoon to your cherished listeners and followers, and also good afternoon to lawyer Matt. Unfortunate that we are back with such a discussion. We have to maintain as a political party that the end is much more interested in persecution rather than prosecution. Check piece of the record. Mr. Hanan has made application in order to be travel outside the country. That's which was duly.
I'm struggling to hear Haruna Idrisu. If Haruna Mohammed, I beg your pardon. I'm sorry. I'm struggling to hear.
Can you hear me now?
Let's try one more time, Haruna.
Okay. I'm saying that we as a political party, we are not surprised that we have reached this particular stage where the NDC is basically taking the law into their hands. We have on record that Mr. Hanan has made an application for an order to travel at the station, which was clear by High Court, Accra, the criminal court in Accra here. On his way to the airport or at the airport, an arrest was done on him. And the allegation that we are hearing is that he was attempting to withdraw from a fraudulent account. I don't know whether there is a Bank of Ghana safe at the airport for him to withdraw, or there is that particular avenue for him to do so. If in any case somebody tries to use even an ATM to withdraw an amount or something from the account, you are closing the account. You are quite sure very well that the person doesn't have access to the account. So what is your motive of moving in to arrest the person when indeed you have actually blocked the account? So I don't think that it is just because Hanan has made an attempt by way of allegations from them. It is just to frustrate him. And I think that the basis of which he was traveling outside the country was to see his medical statistician to look after him because of his health condition. But they are trying as much as possible to execute them even to their grief, and that is why they are doing so. This is not something that is strange and people should be laughing over it. It can happen to anybody at all, and I don't think that it's fair to the family and Mr. Hanan himself. I don't think that is fair. But the NDC should be mindful that they will certainly leave power one day. And when they leave power, they certainly know that some of these things will definitely visit some of them. If they decide to go on their way the way they want and they try as much as possible not to prosecute and want to persecute, we will continue to remind them and remind the good citizens of this country that they should rise up and call out the NDC to stop some of these things. They are basically killing the judicial system. They are basically making sure that nobody will have confidence within the law or the legal system. Because you go to collect an order, the order grants you, then you are moving and then you are arrested again. I don't think they are fair to Hanan, and the MPP certainly would not speak to this matter and allow it to go in a manner that it goes. But we are taking record of all these things that is happening, and I think that at the appropriate time, the party will make a very strong case of that, because we've demonstrated we've done a number of things that the NDC has just said that they will not listen. And we are not surprised because the current president has said it's a dead route and he doesn't fear knife again. So that is what he's demonstrating in his governance. But one day, justice will be served.
There is commentary, especially on social media, by some members of your party that this is clearly a politically motivated arrest. Is that an official position that the MPP stands by?
No, but Carlos, you don't need anybody to tell you that this is not a political motivation. It is. All the cases that they are running today were all cooked outside before they came to government. Even the committee that Martin Tebu said has served on, that is the oral, it was cooked outside when they were doing campaign. And when they came to government, they appointed people who were speaking for them, like him, and they put them into that particular committee. The former Auditor General, all of those people who have worked for the NDC, they put all those things. The removal of Chief Justice was cooked outside. They went to their bar association, in the meeting, the lawyers that they met within the NDC. So they spoke to them. They told them that they will pack them on the bed. And when they came in, they are implementing them. Okay. So all the things that they are doing, they plan all the things in opposition. And it was politically arranged and motivated. And they are implementing those particular tactics one after the other while they are in government. So it's political. It is very political. And that's what they are doing.
Okay. Haruna, this is Kenneth, by the way, but I want you to hold on for me. Let me go back to Martin. Martin, we've heard the former Attorney General, Godfred Dame, threaten to cite the AG and the deputy for contempt of court. Could that be possible? And under what circumstances could that contempt be cited?
Well, and once again, theoretically, yes. If you can show that the prosecutor has done something, one, either expressly breaching the express orders of a court or doing something that brings the administration of justice into disrepute. Okay. So we have two levels. Either there's an express order that's been breached, or even if there's no express order, there's a certain conduct that brings the administration of justice into disrepute. So once again, this one, I'm not answering on the specifics. As for the specifics, if they have the evidence and specify what those prosecutors did, I'm sure they can approach the court, and then we would see how it goes. Because it's law. As for attempting, everybody can attempt. But whether that attempt will succeed is another kettle of fish. It's a different kettle of fish. So the law allows it to attempt to cite the prosecutor for contempt of court. In times past, I think there have been things of this nature. In Ghana, you can expect that this is not the first time there's such a threat or or that there will be such an application. No, I don't think that will be the first time.
Okay, and I must put on record that we have tried to get the governing NDC to comment on this, but have largely been unsuccessful. We are definitely still trying to see if we can get somebody from the governing NDC side to comment on this. Martin, that's the allegation of, attempted withdrawal of a frozen account, money from that bank account. If proven, is it sufficient enough? Does it provide sufficient legal basis for the arrest and continued detention?
Look, listen, as withdraw from the account. Listen, with experience, I'll just hold my horses. I'm sure in a day or two, we will get to the bottom. They will file the full papers, and then we'll see. With experience, you don't want to rush to make some comments, and then you see that man just rush. I'll hold my horses. Can you see? Let's reserve comment. I'm sure in a day or two, we'll see the real evidence from both sides. Then we can comment fully. Okay.
Martin, hold on for me once again. Hanan Mohammed, I still have him on the line. He's the Deputy General Secretary of the opposition NPP. Hanan, what is the NPP going to do from here?
I think we are in constant touch with the lawyers. The lawyers have been with the party on what is happening. We need to also get updated facts of the matter. A matter of
I'm getting a very bad feedback from your end. If you can kindly reposition yourself so that we have a fruitful conversation.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, much better.
Okay, I am saying that we are speaking with the lawyers. They've given us briefing on what is at stake, and then the lawyers will give an advice on the way forward. For us, we think that we will follow the due process. This is not the beginning of that. When Hanan and the wife was arrested, we know what they went through. We know the ordeal. We know the detention. We know the bail conditions that were put. So this is not new. We are looking at the facts, and at the appropriate time to make them prepare in the law court to be able to defend our client. Hanan is an MPP member. We respect him, and he accepts this party well. We will not sit down and allow another political party in the name of being in government to persecute him just like that.
Martin, there are those who say that clearly this is a politically motivated arrest, which has been re-echoed by the MPP. We are listening to the deputy chief scribe of that party, Hanan Mohammed, tell us that they believe that this is a politically motivated arrest because all the evidence doesn't point to any sufficient reason for his arrest. Is that something you agree with?
Ken, this is, once again, I'll say from experience, they are normal. It's normal. It comes from each side. Look, I can tell you when they arrested ACP Dr. Benjamin Agojo, now he's DCOP. We said it, I was on air. I was all over the place saying this is political witch hunt. He had no hand in any alleged coup d'etat. He's a distinguished police officer, blah, blah, blah. But they would have none of it. They insisted and added Agojo to the trial. Were in court for God knows how long. Then eventually came out that he was innocent. That time, I don't know where Haruna was, if he was in this country, if he spoke up in favor of Dr. Agojo. And coincidentally, that time, Godfrey Dami was the Attorney General. He did many things in that case. You see, today, I have been very objective to his client. But if we want to talk about the things Godfrey Dami did in that case, you would say, is that people being objective? So I'll leave it there. That's the way life is. Sometimes people do things, they never think about tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes, they are crying. Well, that's life, okay?
Very interesting response there, Martin. Let me bring back Hanan Mohammed. Now your member, the Hanan Hanan has been in police custody, the custody of the BNI for 24 hours now. The law says that by 48 hours, he should be produced before the court, as Martin Kpebu has reiterated. With the way things are going, are there any other options available to the MPP? Should he still be kept beyond the 48 hours required by law?
Fortunate aspect is that the plan of the NDC government is not to get what is right. It's not to prosecute. It's for them to persecute. And if you look at the pattern in which the activities that have been happening on Hanan, it tells you that they want to keep him even more than the 48 hours. Because when he was picked up and he was sent to Yoko, he was under more than the period, and at the time brought up the heavy bill. And let me say up, it took them longer to be court. And they are and shows that they don't have evidence, they don't have anything to prosecute him. After he having a court order to travel outside, then they have to bring in this particular allegation. So it tells you that they don't have evidence to prosecute Hanan. What they want to do is to frustrate him and then make sure that he spends some time in jail or spend some time in police custody, just to be able to punish him well enough to tell them that they have power. But what they forget is that power is bad thing.
Martin, we've seen this before. People being kept in BNI custody, police custody, Yoko custody, beyond the required 48 hours for them to be processed for court. You've been a big advocate against using bail condition as a weapon to punish people. Do you see a similar pattern playing out in this case?
To say so in this case, as I said, we're watching. Since Sremsai himself had put out on Facebook that they were filing and they would go to court, I presume that he would be admitted to bail within the 48 hours rule, or they would make it to court. Yes, and I think in this particular case, since it's already on bail, there's no need to prolong it in court. So, I think the Attorney General is deputy. They also know that Ghanaians are watching. So I don't think they will do anything untoward. Because if they were to do, I'd be the first to slam them. So I don't think so. Let's hold our horses, and then I'm sure they would do the needful. Okay.
Yeah. Martin Kpebu is a private legal practitioner. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon. Hanan Mohammed is the Deputy General Secretary of the NPP. Away from the courts, frustration is boiling over in Amansam and Obeyeye in the Gan West municipality as residents issue the government a one-week ultimatum to begin work on their deteriorating road or face another demonstration and the possible road blockade. The demonstrators say the poor condition of the road has made movement difficult for motorists and pedestrians, while disrupting businesses and access to healthcare and other essential services. Ramat Bashir was there earlier and interacted with some of the residents.
That's our road. And so scores of residents here in Amansam and Obeyeye have gathered here this morning to protest the bad state of the road in this community. They tell me that years of neglect of this particular road have made this road nearly impassable, affecting transportation, businesses, and access to other essential services.
From Akufo-Addo to Amansam is very short distance. It's about 10 minutes drive. But due to the bad road, when going to work, you get late. You understand? So the road needs to be fixed. Our roads need to be fixed.
Because of Kwanu, we are too far from Obeyeye to 3 Jansi, 15 city, instead of 4 city. Obeyeye, single mother, so a single mother, in fact, imagine so
bese miensa no mo ko school 3 junction a obey den na wa hwe omo amamo akọ nkora ne betena fie omo so no hwe da tinti yesre mpanyimfo so omo yakwa ne maye yakunu sisi asai.
When you wake up early in the morning, you want to go to Accra, you will stand on the road without getting a car because of the road. So you will be late. Every blessed day you will be late in school and work. And with school, our students also the same thing. So the government have to call the contractor to come and make our road, to come and do the contract for us. Other than that, this demonstration will be going on.
The road is extremely bad. Where I live, Accra, it's even worse. You would have to, a road that's supposed to, a journey that's supposed to take about 15 minutes, you can even waste as much as 1.5 hours. So we are just pleading, they should just come to our aid, make it a little more trouble so that it will be. I'm a teacher and I'm still here. My learners are in school waiting for the teacher and the teacher is still here. So we are just pleading, they should just come and fix it for us. We beg them.
Because of the road, sometimes when you sit in the car, it will take like 3 hours or 4 hours before you go and reach at Amasaman. Before you reach at Amasaman, the road is also condemned. So for that, I have to walk to Fisi. You see, this all kind of thing, it will make you lose your lesson. Sometimes they take out some of our marks.
Because you are late to school.
Yeah. So you can see from the road, the blue, Aslaja, even Akramai, all the road they have to condemn it.
You're still watching The Pulse here on Joy News. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more. Well, let's go on to Zoom right now and speak to the Municipal Chief Executive for the Ga West Municipality, John Desmond, to respond to concerns raised by residents of Amasaman over the deteriorating state of their road and the one-week ultimatum they have issued to government. Welcome to the program, Desmond. Residents say they have endured this road in its current condition for years and have now given government a one-week ultimatum to begin work. How do you respond to that? Kindly unmute your microphone so we can hear you. Right, so we are trying to establish connection with John Desmond, who is the MC for Ga West Municipality. I understand I have clear connection to him right now. Do I have connection to you?
Yes, I think everything is clear.
Welcome to the program. Now, residents of your area say they have endured this road in its current condition for years and are now giving government a one-week ultimatum to begin work. I want to find out from you what your response is to their concerns and when realistically they should expect rehabilitation to begin.
Yes, I agree. I think that I shared the views with you.
If you can kindly lower the volume of your television set, I'll be grateful because I'm getting feedback, echoes from your end.
Right. I'm saying that, yes, I share that concern.
I'm still getting the echo from your end, Mr. Desmond. If you can kindly turn off the volume of either your TV set or wherever you are watching this program from, I'm getting extra feedback from your end. Let's try one more time. Can you hear me now? Right, so John Desmond is the MC for Ga West Municipality here in the Greater Accra region. Let's try again one more time. Do I have clear connection to you, Desmond?
Yes, loud and clear.
Much better. I'm saying that the residents in your area are giving government a one-week ultimatum to fix the roads. What are your responses to them, and when should rehabilitation of that particular road be expected to begin?
Right. I share their views and pain, and I can agree. Being a resident of this particular place and using this road as often as possible, I think I agree. The agitation has come about because during the previous administration, I think there had been a lot of promises for this road to be fixed. However, we still find ourselves in the same problem. What we have done as Municipal Chief Executive and also the Assembly, we have continuously reshaped the road. And as you may be aware, during the rainy season, when you shape the road or you bring gravels to cover it, it washes it away. So normally you would have to wait after the rains or before the rains before you do this. We did about 3 weeks ago. We've done we tipped about 30 tip of gravels on it to ensure that at least it is motorable. But because of the consistent rain, it has washed everything away, which we are still doing. What we have done additionally or externally is together with the Municipal Chief Executive, we have, together with my Member of Parliament, Honorable Sedem Apinyo, and the Municipal Urban Roads Engineer, we have gone to meet the Roads Minister several times. I mean, we've been there like about 4 times in the past couple of weeks. Let me say, in 6 weeks, we've been there about 4 times. We've been to urban roads to raise our concerns. We've sent videos and everything. The recent visit we did, that was last week. The good thing is that he said that these roads are being repackaged for an award. So all things being equal, they are going to award it and we can see asphalt on it. What the residents are crying for, they want an asphalted road. They also are sharing the same views that the constant reshaping is not helping. So they are calling on government to come and assist them. As we speak, they are in my office. The organizers of the demonstration are in my office with the divisional command and the district command as well of police. So we'll be here and we've been able to explain and giving them updates accordingly. So far, the situation is calm and we thank God for it. But I'm also assuring them to be able to make it motorable constantly. We're going to make sure that the drip equipment is on the side. I must also put it on record that Gan West has one of the major roads. We have 1,860 kilometer roads. However, only 5% are motorable. Secondly, too, Gan West is the 3rd biggest in the whole Ghana. And these electoral areas or towns connect all the way to Kaswa. So we have places like Ayikan, we have Mahia, Isakina, Joma. And to the other side, we have Samsam, Ochirikonfo, Mimpewasem. So it's remotely placed. So to commute to these places is not like part of Accra, whereby it is tied and it's easily connected. But this one is interspace. So it's very difficult to commute. Then also, if you look at the density population of Greater Accra, it's making people move to the outskirts. And therefore, the population around this place, has increased. And this is because it connects all the way to Kaswa. Anytime the Malam-Kaswa road is busy, this is where people connect. This is where people use. So there's so much pressure on the roads. And I think that it is also a wake-up call to all of us, especially Minister for Roads and Highways, to come to our aid.
You've indicated that you've met with the MP. He's assured you that the contract of the rehabilitation of the road will be awarded. The question is, when?
I have my urban roads municipal engineer right here, who has been very effective so far as this is concerned. And after me, I'm going to give him the opportunity to also give you a detailed briefing so far as these roads are concerned. From my understanding, it's being repackaged, and the minister or the ministry is in talks with the awardee or the contractor, and all things being equal, it's going to be soon. How soon, I may not be able to say. However, I'm also adding my voice to my residents.
I'm asking you that question because the residents are not budging. They say that they're giving you up until 1 week. If nothing is done about the roads, they will hit the streets again. And,
yes,
and if I may, and we all saw what happened today when they hit the streets. It disrupted traffic. People were late to work. School children were unable to go to school early. And a whole lot of mess happened on that road. So if you're unable to give us a timeline as to when this contract will be awarded, does that mean that you have no way to stop the impending demonstration that is going to happen in a week's time?
What we have done, as said earlier, we have put a heap of gravels on the road, and this morning, and it is not only Three Junction Road. They are the people demonstrating now, but I'm talking about collectively, Ghana West Municipality. We have poor roads. We have 1,860 kilometer roads. However, only 5% are motorable. So we're talking about being able to reshape it and make sure that all the places are motorable. And as at now, we have intensified efforts in terms of adding more gravels to the roads. And by this weekend, I think by Sunday, we should have it reshaped. We pray that the rain should not set in to come and wash away all the effort, because that's really the problem we are facing. For the past 4 weeks, we are constantly on the roads. We hit the rain sets in and they wash everything away. So constantly, this is what we'll be facing. This is the challenge. And as you may be aware, we don't have the budget to be able to put blacktop or asphalt on it. So we are crying. And as we are also working on dredging, making sure that, because Ghana West is located as part of the low beds from the Krapim Hills, when the rain sets in, all the way from the Krapim Hills, it goes into the Densu River, then comes to the Saki. When it overfloods, then it means that it's affecting the whole area. So it's not only the roads, however, we have to do dredging across. And we have the same dredge equipment as those in Accra, those municipalities in Accra. Like I'm talking about Kolepote, let's say Okankwe North, or anywhere in Accra, which is even already asphalted. So if you are looking at equity, those of us over here in Ghana West, being one of the biggest municipalities in Greater Accra, and also being overpopulated and having the highest road network so far in Accra, we think that we deserve a bit more attention to make sure that our people and residents are also comfortable. They can go about their duties, smoothly.
John, the demonstrators have warned that they will stage another protest and completely block the road if no work begins within a week. From now till the 1 week ultimatum that they are giving, what are you going to do to ensure that this doesn't happen?
It is expression of sentiment. And I have called the organizers, I've called the Divisional Police and the District Police Command. We've had a meeting, and I'm happy to say that for now, we have been able to resolve the issue. The situation is calm, and I've made them aware. We have updated them. We have showed them evidence of efforts made so far. I mean, in collaboration with my Member of Parliament, Honorable Sedem Opinion, and the Municipal Engineer, Edwin Terj. So I have shown them the efforts we have made. You've seen it with your eyes. So I think for now, they are happy that those are the actions that we have outlined, and it's something that they know that when I say I will do, I will do. And I'm not sleeping either, because we're all going to make sure that at least for the promises we've had, for the intentions we had, they see it and feel it on the ground. So constantly, we'll make sure that the road is motorable, and we'll also follow up with the ministry to ensure that we get the necessary assistance.
Mr. MC, don't go yet. Speaking of Edwin Tay, I have him also on the line. He's the Municipal Director of Urban Roads for Ghana West Municipality. Welcome to the program. Your MC has mentioned your name, that you are in constant communication with him as to when and how to get the road working so that people do not stage the mammoth demonstration they've threatened to stage next week. What assurances can you give?
Well, thank you very much. Well, this morning, as MC rightly said, the demonstrators were here. We had a meeting with them, and then it ended.
Edwin, if you can lower the volume of your TV set, or I don't know where you are monitoring this from, but I'm getting feedback, echoes.
Is it okay now?
Much better.
Okay. So yes, as MC, first of all, I think I greeted you, but because of the echo, you couldn't hear me. Good afternoon to you. And as MC rightfully said, the people were here this morning. We had a meeting with them together with the police. And the meeting actually ended very well. Why it ended very well is that we actually showed them efforts which had already been put in place, what we are doing to address the situation. First of all, their concern, the biggest concern, is to have a road to be asphalted. But in the event that they don't get that, all that they are asking for is that they get the road to be very motorable. That is something which we already started, and we made them aware. The Obey road goes all the way to Aikandoglo, it connects to Akramaman. So we actually pointed it out to them. If they should go to Akramaman, we had already supplied about 11 trips of gravel, which we didn't start today. We started somewhere Friday. So even before this problem got to where it got to, where it has gotten to, we had a road in mind, we had started working on it. And so showing them visibly with evidence what we have started doing, I think they were at peace with themselves. And they trust that, yes, we are going to fix it. What we are going to continue doing is that we are not ending there. We are going to supply so much gravel coming down all the way to Bay to 3 Junction, if you know the area very well. And then we assure them that the grader should move in by Thursday. That is after we've supplied a lot of gravel. The grader will move in, and then we'll start the reshaping and then the compaction work of the road surface.
So within a week, can you do beyond what you're saying, or that's all you can do within a week, or this is not even within a week timeline because they are not budging that they have given you a week, or they have now rescinded their decision?
Well, given the promise and assurance given them, they have rescinded the decision. Why? Because we actually showed them evidence of what we started.
Okay.
Concerning this particular road. Now, it is not only that area. We've done so in other areas within the municipality. But for this particular area, we actually assured them that within a week, we're going to complete and make the road more travel for them.
Right. Edwin, don't go yet. I still have John Desmond, the MC for Gawest Municipality. Well, the residents say that they are tired of the numerous promises, not from you alone, from your predecessors who have come and occupied that seat you occupy today, that the roads will be fixed, and nothing happens. Why should they trust you and Edwin Tay this time?
Why they should trust us is because we've escalated this.
Hello, John. John Desmond Sewa is the Municipal Chief Executive of Gawest Municipality. We're having a conversation with him on the back of the deplorable roads in his community, and he's been assuring us that they've been engaging the residents who staged a mammoth demonstration earlier today, wanting their concerns addressed. He's been given some assurances that the road has, being awarded to a contractor who is yet to get on site. He tells me that the MP for the area is also in constant communication with him, and they will ensure that the roads are made more trouble. John Desmond, do I have clear connection to you now?
Yes, you do.
Yes, I was asking, why should the people trust you now? Because they say that numerous promises that have been given them have fallen on deaf ears.
I think ideas are not enough. Ideas must be impactful. And if they've been here, we had a very good discussion, and they saw evidences of meetings that I've had with the minister, the copies of letters, rating, and responses. And I think that also we had a plan. Before we got here, we had already sent a lot of gravels to on that roads already. And so we showed them arrangements made with a pit to be supplying us with gravels. Then additionally, we had a plan which somebody among them was already aware. So the person also gave evidence that, yes, we came over and then made all those purchases so far gravels are concerned. So they've seen evidence, and I think evidence is everything of what we intend doing. Having said that, I'm also saying again that their road doesn't serve only Amasama. It connects to Kaswa all the way. So we have a lot of people using these roads to avoid traffic on the Malam-Kaswa main road. So it is a road that is going to serve the interconnectivity of Ganwest and that of Senyabreku. So it is something that we are giving attention to. We are also on the grounds, and we are intensifying efforts by increasing the number of gravels that we need to reshape that road. And they've seen the heaps of gravels there already. The heap of gravels, they have seen it, and all these things are evidences. If your reporters come back to, sir, I think when they came, they saw it. Even last week, we did send some heaps there. And this afternoon, we are working on. By Thursday, we should have about 40 or more heap of sand on that road. And by Sunday, as I said earlier, we should have that road reshaped as a temporary measure to waiting for a proper construction to be made and have the road asphalted to serve the people or the good people of Ganwest.
Thank you very much for your time this afternoon, Edwin Tay, and Desmond John Suwa, who is also the Municipal Chief Executive of the Ganwest Municipality. You're still watching the polls here on Joy News. We return from the break with more. Stay with us.
I cannot believe we started this journey 8-9 years ago, and then also we went for a show. At that time, when we were playing, he heard us playing, and then was like, the guys are good.
It's been like you always have to be on your toes to learn.
I used to I tell my head because the way boy I leave you most of the songs that we play out there try to change one or two things to make it fresh from other previous performances. Baby, don't you need it from me? Believe it.
Democracy is by choice, not cash, not coercion, not corruption. Vote buying silences the will of the people, and check illicit political financing weakens the very sovereignty of a state. Democracy falters when everyone's choice is compromised. An unprecedented multimedia politician-citizen forum brought to you by Joy News Impact Makers Foundation. This community-level engagement will spotlight illicit political financing, explore its implications, and proffer solutions to safeguarding Ghana's democracy. Democracy is not for sale on Joy News, Adom TV, Joy FM, Adom FM, and across our social media platforms.
Welcome back. Let's now shift our focus to sanitation in the Ashanti region, where the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, KMA, is reintroducing an enhanced summons initiative, popularly known as Saman, effective today to enforce sanitary living in Kumasi. The Enforcement Task Force, comprising environmental officers, the military and police, are patrolling some selected areas in Ghana's second largest city to immediately prosecute sanitation offenders. My colleague Emmanuel Bright-Kweku is with the team and is joining us with the very latest. Emmanuel, which areas has the team been to and what arrests have been made so far?
Almost 1 hour, 30 minutes to 2 hours.
And so we are currently coming to you from the Latter-day Saint Church here at Dichemso, and the task force just asked the administrator and in fact some officials here to join them go. They have been arrested for some poor sanitary conditions, and so they are joining the team to the truck that has packed quite a number of people here in the enclave. In fact, we've had a lot of people being restricted. I can count at least some 5 individuals who have been arrested by the Special Security Task Force, comprising of soldiers, comprising of the KMA task force as well. We have soldiers and also the sanitary officers here at the Dichemso enclave, and it's all in support of the new drive the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly has introduced, what we call Saman in before, or the town councils as tankers, and so they have been deployed by these people to ensure that people live sanitary and the conditions here are actually improved. We'll try and engage with some of the officials to really understand what is currently happening or how many people have been arrested so far. And so as you can see, they are moving into the various vicinities. This is just a church premises, and this is the Latter-day Saints here at Dichem. So they've gone to some houses to arrest some individuals for living poor sanitary conditions, and they have been arrested. I'll quickly engage with the PRO. Antevia, please come for a short interview. We just want to find out from you. In fact, we have moved into this church. We want to find out what is the reason why they are being taken away.
Okay, so when we came here, we saw that their environments, their frontage, it was unsanitary. So the chief inspector, that's Upoku, went in, and then we spoke to them that we are taking them to court, and this is the exercise that we are carrying it out. Then she refused to go. She said she's calling the boss or something to come, but the boss never came, and then she also didn't move to where we asked her to go. We came peacefully again. We sent another team. She still didn't come. So we have to come forcefully take her so that the bosses will meet her at court.
Okay, let me find out from you. In fact, this is just one of the places. How many places have you visited so far, and then how many arrests?
So far, the one, we divided ourselves into 2. So the one I've been part of, this is about the 7th one. Mostly the ones we found were accumulation of construction waste. We realized that people are constructing or renovating their houses, and then they've dumped the debris and others in front of their houses, and then when it rains, it goes into the drain, and they don't care. Some too, it has accumulated and it has turned into a dumping site for others. So you see litters, and then you see other plastics on other food items being dumped there. So those are the things that we've taken notice of, and we have taken them into custody. We're taking them to the Prempeh Assembly Hall Court.
In fact, with what I observed, it looks as if the people are resistant, because you go to some places, they tell you they are not the ones who have dumped refuse over there. They are not the owners of it. It looks as if there is a pushback. Oh?
Yeah, we are sensing that, and we are also letting people are giving us a hint that they are actually the people. So when we decide to take them, then they also name who actually is causing that. So that's what happened here. So like there's a carpentry site there. Okay. We realize that the whole place is bushy and it's like a dumping site. Actually, initially we arrested someone, and then somebody gave us a hint that they are the owners of that carpentry site. And then we arrested them because their frontage, the shop in front of their frontage, their drain is blocked, and then the leases and other things in the dustbin. And so we've taken them on. Even though they tried to deny the first one, we got them in another way.
And so what are the conditions or the punitive measures for these people? Once they are arrested and prosecuted, is there a fine or what is going to happen to them?
The court is going to base on our bylaws and then fine them, depending on how the evidences we are presenting and then the units of offences that is going to be meted out to them. And so not long ago, we took some people on and they were given 100 penalty units. Some were given 200, 120 and all that. So the judge will decide the amounts to charge them, whether to go in or they're going to pay a fine.
And then finally, is this going to be sustained? Is it going to be there forever, or what is going to happen? Just a short term?
As an assembly, we intend to sustain it. We have officers already going around, but this time we decided to come from the main office to join the officers on the ground, especially when they were telling us the challenges that they have. And then we actually followed it up, and these challenges that they mentioned in their report are the things surfacing up. We were here last week, a whole week. We came to do an announcement for them so that at least the notice that has been given, they will change or amend their ways. But we realized that still some are recalcitrant, and basically we found out exactly what the report said is happening here.
Thank you very much. And so Henrietta Efia Abuaje is the PRO for the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, and he has been giving us an overview of what the exercise that has gone so far. We understand that some 7 individuals have been picked up, and she says that this is going to be a sustained effort to ensure that Kumasi is really clean and also reclaims its glory as the garden city. And so
that's Emmanuel Brad Kweku from Kumasi. Let's bring in a local governance expert, Amon Kote. Welcome to the program. Do you think this will work?
Well, I don't know whether the egg or the fowl, I don't know which one came first. It's still a debate. And waste management department of the assembly must be made up of the waste management director, his deputies, a number of supervisors, waste workers, and then what we call waste volunteers. I don't think the assembly has this team. Secondly, we need resources to assist in managing waste in the metropolis. They need vehicles. They need dustbins. In fact, they must work as a waste management team. Besides that, if we want to enforce the bylaws, why not? You can do that. But we're going to reach a point where you can't sustain it, because areas where the bins for the public use are full, and for 3-4 days the assembly vehicle is not coming to lift it. What happens there? So there are so many activities or actions that must be taken by the assembly itself, and then the citizenry will follow with any actions or any directives that is given. We have stayed in this unhealthy situation for a very long time. So when we want to introduce it, well, I understand the way the mayor want to go about in dealing with it. Sometimes in Ghana, when there is first action, second action, it deters people from continuously doing the wrong thing. So let's observe it for some time.
Right.
But as far as I'm concerned, I keep saying that we don't have waste management department at the district level. We don't have it at the municipal level. We have it only at the metropolitan level. So if the metropolitan waste management thinks that, or including the public health team thinks that enforcing the bylaws at this stage is okay, why not?
Well, this is something that used to be there. It went away. It's been reintroduced. There are those who say that this has been reintroduced as a knee-jerk reaction due to the recent flooding that we're experiencing in parts of the country. Perhaps they're trying to say that, okay, we are introducing this so that it doesn't happen to us. Do you see this as a knee-jerk reaction?
It's debatable, because it is part of their activities. I mean, the Assembly must enforce its bylaws. And if maybe they have to wait till they see what is happening to another metropolis before they start working, that is something else. But as I said earlier, the Assembly must have a team and must be resourced. I don't want the situation where they have placed a beam somewhere, the vehicle to go and lift is fault, and then the beam will be sitting there for about 2 weeks, and you are going around summon people. What does that mean? People have generated their waste, and the waste is sitting in front of their houses, and the trucks to come and do the lifting are not coming, and then you go there and you are dealing with them on waste management. I don't think that is the way forward. But, well, they have started. Let's observe them.
Isaac Kutey, I want you to hold on for me. Have somebody on the line who is best placed to explain to us the reason why this has been reintroduced. That is Ofori Ajiman Bwedi. He's the Kumasi Mayor. Welcome to the program, Mr. Bwedi. Many are wondering why the reintroduction at this particular time.
Let me say good afternoon to your listeners. It has become necessary because of how much we are spending on sanitation. And I believe that if we are able to instill some level of discipline on how we keep our environment and how we keep our communities, the amount of money we spend on waste management and sanitation will come down, and I would then let the Assembly have resources to look at other critical areas of our city's development.
The sustainability is what many have also raised questions and concerns about that. Fine, you've introduced it, but how to sustain it? Just like many other policies that have been introduced, the sustainability really often becomes the problem. How sustainable is this?
I am one person, as in the leader, who has the same aspiration as any other person in Kumasi. If we will be able to sustain it, it will be dependent on the kind of support that we have from our people and from the media. If the narrative in the media on this project is negative, it will not give the right mindset. Mind you, our intention is not to punish. Our intention is first and foremost for us to be aware of our surroundings and keep it the way such that we will minimize diseases and public health hazards. And so once we all are on the same page, the media and the larger populace, we speak the same language, and we encourage our people to live in an environment that is well sanitized. I'm sure we'll be able to sustain it.
Logistical challenges have also been asked. Many are wondering as well. Are you resourced enough to keep this going?
Within the constraints that we have, we'll do what we have to do to make sure that we achieve our goals.
And tell us the scope of the area that you are going to embark this upon. Is it within the entire Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, or you are starting with a particular area? Because we understand that Dichem.
So it is something that we are doing to cover the entire Kumasi Assembly area. But then we do it on electoral area basis. And so for this week, we are going to be in the Bantima electoral area in the Mensah South Sub-Metro. So the whole of this week, we are in the Dichemso electoral area of the Mensah Sub-Metro. So tomorrow we'll continue up until Friday. And today, with our being there, we have seen good results. We are getting somewhere. And I'm sure by the time we give the place, we'll have much improved.
What has been the response? You say the results have been good, but have there been some pushbacks from the people that you've gone to check their places?
The good thing is that we just don't come. The whole of last week, our public address vehicles were in the electoral area informing the populace about what we tend to do. So it's not like they are there and we have come and they do not know what we're coming today. They are well aware. They talked about a month ago. And the week preceding, we have done a lot of engagement by way of announcement. So everybody is aware of our coming. So people themselves prepared for this exercise. And so today we didn't arrest even a lot of people. We only had 13. That should tell you that people are carrying the message along well.
So what are the punishments involved?
So we take them to court. We will prepare charges in accordance with appropriate laws, and the court will decide which part of punishment to make out.
And then you say that you're going to, is it Bantama that you're going next?
No, we are in Dichemso. So when we're done with Dichemso, we'll go to Krofo. After Krofo, we are likely to go to Bantama before we go to Asafo.
Okay. And how long is this expected to last? Forever?
So it is expected to last as long as I remain the mayor for the city. I'm sure if we sustain it, well, whoever comes after me will continue it. So what we're going to do is that every month we'll select one community and be there for 1 week. After we have left, our sanitary officers in the sub-metro will then be doing mop-ups to make sure that what we have achieved in the week will be sustained. And then from there we'll move on to the other area. But occasionally we'll go to places on and on, especially places that we have been to make sure that whatever we encourage the community to do, we are keeping to it.
What do you say to your critics who say that this is a knee-jerk reaction? You are doing this just in the interim, and then in a month or two time, you stop it.
Okay, so I say, well, let's wait and see.
I didn't hear you, sir.
I'm saying I only ask them to wait and see.
Okay.
Everybody that is Kumasi will attest to their fact there's a new discipline level in this. It is not to the level we are, but everybody that honest will admit that under my tenure, the city is gradually moving towards the kind of a disciplined, organized city that we are all yearning for. And I'm not going to rest until I achieve the ultimate.
We know that some of the public places, including markets and open places in the city, are some of the dirtiest. Is the concentration, are you going to give special attention to some of the markets, or they are all going to follow the same procedure?
So I started this thing about 3 months ago.
Okay.
By making sure that when I assumed office, there were places that through a program that within the European Union, during the previous regime, Horizon program, had been inadvertently designated as refuse dump sites. And those areas, for me, shouldn't have been. They are virtually in the middle of the city. And it's not a good spectacle, especially for visitors. Places like the MTN runabout around the zoo, like the Children's Hospital runabout, like the Tump runabout. When I came, you go there and you find heaps. I tried everything possible to engage for us to desist. They were not hidden until I applied the law, and there were people were taken to court. Some were sent into prison. Some were given fines. And then I started seeing the results. So, flowing from that, then I said, okay, maybe if I look at enforcement of the law, then people would comply with our regulations. And so with what we achieve by taking people to court and stopping them from dumping refuse sites at these places that I'm talking about, we are then escalating it into the communities by making sure that we scale it up and bring in the summer program. There's something that we have been doing for the past 3 months that is getting us results. So I'm only trying to expand it.
What about private residences? We have people who do not, dump their refuse in designated areas. Sometimes they even burn it, they leave it in their houses. Are you also going to concentrate your attention there?
Yeah, today they covered all of that. This MC is a residential area, very close to the Kumasi airport. It's a residential area. And so they are covering that. They are checking bathrooms, they are checking carpets, they are checking surroundings to see if there are weeds, they are checking everything.
Mayor, I want you to stand on the line for me. Please don't go yet. I still have Mr. Kote, who is a local government or governance expert. Mr. Kote, you've been listening to the Kumasi Mayor. Does he convince you with the policy?
Well, I think so. So far, so good. But I will advise him to get what we call the waste volunteers, who will go around and educate the people. Let the people appreciate why they are doing this exercise, And I don't know whether he has any plans in moving into waste segregation. Because as we speak, we are still doing mixed generation, mixed collection. And some areas we don't even have a disposal site. I want to know whether he has plans in engaging the people to move into waste segregation. Maybe KME move into waste segregation.
Okay. That's a question I'm going to ask you, ask on your behalf.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. Mr. Kote is a local governance expert. Mr. Mayor, you've been listening to the expert also share a view about waste segregation. I want to pick your thought on that. And then your final words will be what you have for the people of Kumasi. What message do you have for them? Let's start with the waste segregation.
Okay, so you talked about volunteers. I currently have about 2 or 3. There's an Asanteman group who are helping us. They are volunteers. There's an all-girl group, Wolan. They help us by doing a lot of education in market areas. And if there are any other groups that would want to volunteer and help us as far as education is concerned, we'll welcome them. And those that are volunteers and they work with us, I'm sure we partner them well and very effectively. On the issue about waste segregation, it's something that I came to inherit by the nature of the Ghanaian. You go to the Central Business District, there are waste bins, 1,000 liter waste bins that has been distributed within the Central Business District. Those are supposed to collect plastics and papers. Those that are supposed to collect organic food items and all those ones there. But occasionally you go and have them mixed up. But at the final disposal side, the good thing is that about 40% of the waste that ends up there comes back into recycling facilities within the Kumasi metropolis. About 40% of them comes back to do with it. What is then left is the organic waste. And that one, we are looking at finding engineering means to put them to very good economic use. Over the last month, the Asante Otovo himself engaged a Canadian company. They've been here with the dance studies. We are looking at converting waste into energy, waste into fertilizer, and any other thing that can be useful. So yes, it's something that we are giving serious attention to, and we welcome all partners, all interest groups in that particular sector. We will work with them as when they come forward.
And what will be your message to the people of Kumasi as you start this project?
My message to the people of Kumasi is that let's all make an effort to position Kumasi to look like the second largest city in the country and position ourselves to attract investments into our city, just so we can be able to create opportunities for employment for our teeming young men and women who are skilled and properly educated. We need to build a kind of Kumasi that will attract investment. And let's do it together. I'm just a captain in the team. And I'm not the team. I'm the captain in the team. I can only provide leadership, but everybody should get along with me. Let's be on the same page. Let's be on the same path. And let's drive Kumasi to where we want to have it as a resilient, sustainable city.
Richard Ofori-Agyemang-Boadi, thank you very much. He's the mayor of Kumasi. And earlier we heard from Amon Kote, who is a local governance expert. Let's stay a while in the Ashanti region because the Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly, in partnership with Zoom Lion Ghana Limited, has launched a comprehensive sanitation campaign aimed at preventing flooding and supporting government efforts to promote a cleaner and healthier environment. The initiative forms part of a broader national efforts to reduce the impact of flooding and improve waste management during the rainy season. More in this report by Francis Mensah.
The extensive citywide cleanup exercise was conducted in areas including Bantima Market, the airport runabout, Asebi, Adiemra, Asokwa, and other flood-prone communities identified by KMA's Works and Disaster Prevention Department. Officials say the focus is on drains and gutters that have been blocked by plastic waste and silt, which often cause water to overflow during heavy rains. Doris Ejay is the managing director of Zoom Lion Ghana Limited.
On Monday, we all know what happened. We had a major disaster in terms of flooding in parts of our country, Ghana. And so Zoom Lion, believing that our mission is to improve the lives of people, we are here and our heart goes out to the affected citizens of Ghana, those who have lost properties that have been destroyed, businesses and the communities. Our hearts, prayers and thoughts go out with you. Zoom Lion believes that in times like this, we need to deploy our trucks, our expertise to clean up and support the government.
Mayor of Kumasi, Richard Oforiajaman-Bwedi, commended Zoom Lion for its swift intervention in the city sanitation drive. He announced that the assembly will embark on sanitation summons initiative targeting households across the city. According to him, notices on the exercise have already been issued to the public, urging residents to clean their homes and surroundings.
EMA is embarking on arrest of individuals who misconduct themselves as far as sanitation in a metropolis is concerned. And so beginning Monday 6th of June, we are starting enforcement on our sanitation laws. And so we'll begin for the Mensha South sub-metro. We are going to be in the HMC electoral area for 1 week. We'll make sure that every gutter is cleaned, every environment is cleared, every house is kept tidy, every weed around any house is cleared, so that we can have a clean Kumasi.
Speaking during the monitoring tour of the sanitation exercise, the Ashanti Regional Minister Dr. Frank Amwakohene reiterated that the 50% cash reward for reporting indiscriminate dumping of refuse remains in force. He said the reward scheme and the initiative to curb illegal waste disposal and reducing flood in the region are yielding results.
In some weeks back, we made an announcement that anyone who could provide us evidence of people who are dumping indiscriminately will be rewarded. Thankfully, everyone who has submitted evidence and same has been proven or substantiated have received their rewards. So we are calling on the public that offer is still in full force. Beyond that, there are others who have been prosecuted. I remember one of the cases that they have been sentenced to imprisonment for about 14 days, some for 30 days. So this is to send a caution that we are ready to enforce the laws.
Francis Mensah's report for Joy News.
Take you to the Middle East, where Israel's tourism industry is showing signs of recovery as the country works to rebuild confidence among international travelers following months of conflict. Christians from around the world are making pilgrimages to the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, revered by many as the site of the crucifixion, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. Many visitors also make their way to the upper room, also known as the Cenacle on Mount Zion in Jerusalem. Christian tradition holds that this is the site where Jesus shared the Last Supper with his 12 disciples on the night before his crucifixion. The Mount of Olives overlooking Jerusalem's old city remains another major attraction. The hill features several important biblical sites, including the Garden of Gethsemane, where Christians believe Jesus prayed before his arrest. Mike Maxwell Agbagba is in Israel and has just returned from these tourist sites and is joining us live from Tel Aviv. Maxwell, what can you tell us?
Well, okay, a lot is happening here in Israel. Like you mentioned, tourism in the Israeli space is returning among international travelers. Like you rightly mentioned about what existed, in the past. Now, if you come to Israel, one of the key things, to note here is that for a lot of Christians and a lot of people who practice Judaism and even for Islam, Jerusalem remains one of the most important and historic cities, for a lot of people. So you have quite a number of travelers here, Christians. You have a lot of people, Jewish people, all traveling here to witness or to have direct contact with some of these biblical and historical sites. Now, the Israeli Tourism Authority has stated that since the events of October 7, 2023, tourism in the country has dipped, by 30%. But now they talk about seeing some resurgence in the sector, especially amongst international travelers. But we arrived here in Tel Aviv on Saturday evening, and then we took an hour drive from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Now, Israel considers Jerusalem as its capital. Now, there's a lot to see in Jerusalem. Here in Tel Aviv, where I am currently, it's more of a cosmopolitan, society, where you have a mix of people from different parts of the world all gathering, kind of like a melting pot, for the world. That in Jerusalem is quite different. It's a place that holds, like I mentioned earlier, historical and biblical significance for Christians, for people who practice Judaism, and even for our Muslim, brothers. Now, for Christians, I'm sure if you go back to your days in Sunday school, Jerusalem actually plays host to the Holy Church of Sepulchre. Now, the Holy Church of Sepulchre is believed to be the church where the crucifixion, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ actually happened. So there, we still have that site, preserved there, and we're privileged, to visit that particular site. Now, another site is the Via Dolorosa. Now, this is the path where Jesus Christ walked. It's believed that Jesus Christ walked that path after the trial by Pontius Pilate. He walked down that path to Golgotha before the crucifixion. So there you have the 14 stations of the cross there. And during Lent, especially, our Catholic brothers and sisters visit that site, to observe the stations of the cross. So that path, Via Dolorosa, yesterday, we walked down that path, 14 stations, and then we got to the Holy Church of Sepulchre, where we saw Golgotha, where Jesus Christ of Nazareth, Jesus of Nazareth was crucified. And then later, we entered the church itself, where we saw the tomb, where he was believed to have been buried before he resurrected, on the third day. And then we saw quite a number of tourists there who visited the site, to say some prayers. Now, in that church, the Holy Church of Sepulchre, you would find a small building in that church. So in that building, it is the tomb that you're not allowed to take your phones there. A lot of people queue there, enter, and then go and say prayer before, coming out. So really, in Jerusalem, there is a lot to see, and the tourism ministry here in Israel is quite excited about how the tourism numbers are picking up, especially after the conflicts that erupted in 2023, and then the recent conflict that they experienced with Iran. Now, if you visit Jerusalem also, another thing that was striking, for me as a first timer, was the built environments. Jerusalem in nature, and we are told that is as a result of the 20th century law that requires that all buildings in Jerusalem have nature. So for even modern buildings that are springing up in Jerusalem, one thing that you notice is that they have the same, color, the same structure. So even if you put up a modern building,
we're struggling.
Limestone that is applied to the building, and it gives it that same uniformity that even the old structures, have in that particular.
That's Maxwell Agbagba there in the economic city of Israel, Tel Aviv, bringing us up to speed of what is happening in Jerusalem. I understand we have you back on the line. Maxwell, we lost you momentarily. You were making a point. Well, unfortunately, we've lost Maxwell Agbagba on the line again, but he's been giving us an update in Jerusalem, which is contested by both Israel and Palestine as the capital city of both states. And Maxwell, we lost you. Do I have you now?
Can you hear me?
Great, I can hear you. Let's go.
Yes, exactly. So I was talking about Jerusalem and how Israel, the state of Israel, believes that it is, their capital, and it hosts their parliament, the Knesset. It also hosts their Supreme Courts. It is also, more of like the executive nerve center, of the country. And then also we're talking about the biblical and historical importance that the country attaches, to Jerusalem. But like I was saying, that's quite different from what you get when you visit, Tel Aviv. Like I mentioned, Tel Aviv is more cosmopolitan in nature. It has people from different parts, of the world. Commercial center, you have nightlife, also quite vibrant, here in Tel Aviv, as well. A commercial nerve center as well, also for the state of Israel. So for tourists who we have been speaking to here, many of them Christians who've been visiting from other parts of the world, many of them have been talking about, their experience here and how they are excited that, tourism is bouncing back in the state of Israel.
I love the picturesque view of Jerusalem. It looks like something from the Bible, something from the book. It looks so beautiful. But let's talk about the conflict, the Iran-Israel-US conflict. The US President Donald Trump has suggested that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu could visit the White House as early as next week, which will be the first time he's visiting the White House since the outbreak of that conflict. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, made that known to the media some days ago, and he stated that he had a call with the U.S. President Donald Trump. And so it's expected that meeting will take place as early as next week. That is after Donald Trump attends a NATO summit, which is going to happen in Turkey from the 7th to the 8th of July. And it is expected that that visit will focus on the conflict between U.S., Israel, and then Iran. Now, the differences between the differences in the stance and position of Israel when it comes to the conflict, and it's expected that during this particular visit, conversation in that direction would happen, and then the next move forward for the conflict, which currently there's a ceasefire. We know about a 60-day ceasefire, which is expected to end in August. And then, some firm decisions are expected to be taken in that regard. So this visit is expected to focus on that particular ceasefire that is in place, and then the current agreement that is in place to also firm up decisions and also to iron out some of the differences that the state of Israel, especially Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, has, with the U.S.'s Donald Trump.
And the interesting thing is that just yesterday, the late supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei's funeral was held in Iran. We know that Iran and Israel are, more so at loggerheads. We know that there's overwhelming support for their conflict with Iran. Have you been speaking to some of the Israeli citizens, what they make of the funeral procession of the late supreme leader? Because even Iran warned that they suspect that Israel could attack people during the funeral. Have you heard anything from the citizens of Israel concerning the funeral of the late Ayatollah Khamenei?
Well, if you speak to the Israelis, some of the people who I've been speaking to, opinions are really divided when it comes to the war, when it comes to the war on Iran. There are those who believe that it is justified for the collective security of the Israeli, people, especially they cite events on October 7, 2023, which they believe was the trigger, for the conflicts that we saw. Now, if you speak to some other Israelis also, they believe that the action that was taken subsequently thereafter was unwarranted. Some of them say that they believe that officials and executive here in Israel, especially Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, was killing an ant with a sledgehammer with the actions that followed subsequently. So really, if you speak to the Israelis, the opinions are divided sharply on this particular subject. For those who support the war, they say that it is important for the collective security of the Israel state itself. For those who do not support the war, they say that the action that was taken, that's not really, commensurate with the attack that happened. They feel the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu killed an ant with a sledgehammer, created a mountain out of the molehill, out of the whole situation. So really, it's 50-50. You find people who support the war, and then you'd also find people who really do not support, the conflict. And all of them have their own justification for it.
Maxwell, have you tried any of the local foods since you landed in Israel?
Yes, I've been trying quite a lot of things.
I know you.
Quite a lot. But I've been eating a lot of pizza, which is not naturally, it's not, pizza is eaten everywhere. But I've been eating a lot of bread. I've been eating a lot of bread. Bread you eat a lot when you come to, this part of the world. So a lot of bread, a lot of pizza. This afternoon I ate mushroom. So not really like traditional and the typical Israeli steak, hopefully this evening I'm going to try that. We're going to go out for dinner shortly, and hopefully when I go out, for dinner, I'll be trying that.
Have a good time, Maxwell. Thank you. That's Maxwell Agbagba, all the way from Tel Aviv in Israel. Now back here in Ghana, the country and Canada are strengthening their economic partnership, with bilateral trade rising to more than $700 million in 2025, marking a 56% increase that reflects growing investor confidence and deepening commercial ties. The figures were highlighted during the Canada Day celebration in Accra, where officials noted a shift from diplomatic relations to more tangible economic outcomes driven by trade and investment. Martha Sewa-Boache has more in this report.
This Canada Day reception is more than a celebration. Last year's event brought together key leaders, and discussions were based on democracy, sustainable development, and Canada's investment in key sectors such as agriculture and rural development. This year, what more can this partnership achieve? Could it be stronger cooperation in education, or stronger action on climate, or could it be stronger ties on economic opportunities? The story behind Ghana and Canada did not begin today. It traces back decades to a time when cooperation was rooted in development support, education exchanges, and shared efforts to build institutions.
Over the years, that foundation has been strengthened, evolving into a relationship defined not only by policy but by people, movement, and mutual respect. Today, that evolution is clearly visible in the numbers, with bilateral trade rising to $752 million in 2025, a 56% increase that signals deepening economic ties and renewed investor confidence. Wakwas Yusufsi, a senior trade commissioner at the Canadian High Commission in Ghana.
Essentially, an event like this is an opportunity for Canada and Ghana to come together and redouble our efforts towards a stronger bilateral relationship. We've done a lot in the last little bit. For example, we just hosted the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana in Canada. We hosted the CEOs of Ghana Investment Promotion Center as well as the Ghana Export Promotion Authority. We also hosted the Tomfo. His Excellency was over there in Canada to promote business ties between the two countries. So an event like this brings it all together for us. Absolutely. So I'm not sure if you know, Canada and Ghana trade has gone up. So in 2024 it was about 350 million and has gone up to about 750 or so. So it's about 56% increase in just 1 year. So I'm looking forward to increasing that slowly, as they say, over some time.
The High Commissioner of Canada to Ghana, Her Excellency Maria Montra, underscores that in an increasingly uncertain global climate, Canada is choosing collaboration over isolation, pointing to stronger partnerships and shared opportunities as the pathway forward, built on connections that unite people rather than divide them.
Canada is a global nation, an energy leader, and home to one of the most educated workforces in the world. But above all, we believe in working together to create opportunities and shared prosperity. We believe that the future does not belong to those who build walls. It belongs to those who build bridges. Bridges between countries, communities, and people.
With culture, music, and shared values on display, the celebration served a reminder that democracy goes beyond borders and build lasting bridges between nations and people. From the Kimpiski Gold Coast Hotel, my name is Martha Sewabwache for Joy News.
Nearly 1 in 5 Guineans could be living with chronic kidney disease, with doctors warning that the condition is increasingly affecting young adults in their most productive years. Health specialists at the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital say they are recording a sharp rise in kidney cases, with many patients arriving only after the disease has progressed to its final stage, leaving dialysis or kidney transplant as the only treatment option. Nephrologists at the Korle-Bu Teaching Hospital say the growing burden is being driven by undiagnosed hypertension and diabetes, poor health-seeking behaviors, and environmental pollution. Stephen Mensah has more.
The residual kidney function, it preserves it.
They sit quietly, listening intently to the guidance of medical doctors. These are kidney patients, people who have battled the condition for years, returning again and again for treatment and holding on to hope.
Peritoneal dialysis, am I independent? Am I also living more of a functional life as opposed to 3 times a week as a hospital?
Yeah, can say easy, but Nyankopon ediyecha besori ahomachi be fifie muka ho nsem sikase oba bedru ubeye bewie na wa bre but ni nyina Nyankopon ediyecha ntie nemu.
For me, it's very bad. As at now, I'm supposed to leave home 1 a.m. because I'm on the first session. My dialysis starts at 3 a.m. I stay out of Angkor barrier, so I have to leave home by 1 a.m. Get here. 4 hours. So you go on the machine 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. By 8, you are done. You leave. You know, you have to go to work. Sometimes you finish, you are very tired. You don't even know, but you are supposed to go. If you don't go, you will not get money to maybe pay for your dialysis fee.
Doctors now estimate that nearly 1 in 5 Ghanaians could be living with chronic kidney disease, many without knowing it. At the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, consultant nephrologist Dr. Mensa Amwa has been at the forefront of treatment and care.
Our clinics, we have a lot of referrals, we have a lot of new cases coming in almost every week. Sometimes we can't even get an early appointment because of the sheer numbers that are referred on a weekly basis. And countrywide, not just only in Kolebu, across the country, a lot of hospitals are recording very high numbers. Unfortunately, a majority of them come in late stages, like what we call chronic kidney disease stage 5, where they have reached the end of the disease process and cannot have some treatment that will be able to reverse this other than to resort to dialysis or plan for kidney transplantation.
Dr. Amwa believes environmental factors are playing a significant role, pointing in particular to the impact of illegal mining activities, which continue to affect water quality in several parts of the country.
We are recording cases in such places, and we also get a lot of what's called glomerular diseases. Glomerular diseases are a type of kidney disease that leads to increased protein in the urine and all that. We are seeing a lot of numbers coming from such places as well. And not only that, downstream, in our Ghana water form of processing does not remove heavy metals which get contaminated, which are spilled off from these illegal mining activities into the main rivers and which are processed by Ghana water. So all these heavy metals actually gone beyond the communities where illegal mining is happening. It's going into almost every homes which are supplied by Ghana water.
Health professionals are increasingly urging the public to take preventive steps, including regular medical checkups, lifestyle changes, and physical exercise as key tools in reducing risk.
I know routinely here we don't have our yearly visits and stuff like that. It is something that is very, very important, because when your kidneys are going bad, your yearly visits will be able to tell you, So it is a good practice to encourage people to at least see their doctor once a year to see how you're doing.
Meanwhile, Nexus Global Services is rolling out a series of targeted interventions aimed at supporting persons living with kidney conditions. Chief Executive Officer of the outfit, Dr. Rashid Al-Hassan, says while the interventions are a step in the right direction, more needs to be done to confront the rising cases.
The goal is to have a very strong national transplant system in Ghana, so that patients that are on organ problems that need transplants, it could be kidney, it could be liver, it could be cornea of the eye. There's a system that helps that. There's a legislation, I think, that is in Parliament that needs to be passed to form the framework for this. And also the long term is to have this done locally. No, it's not possible to airlift every patient to abroad for medical treatment and to transplant surgery.
For those living with kidney disease, every day is a reminder of the importance of early diagnosis. For health professionals, it's a warning that unless more is done to prevent the disease, the number of patients with the condition will keep rising. Stephen Mensah, Joy News.
The Ghana National Fire Service says last week's twin fire and flood disasters exposed major gaps in emergency response, with logistical constraints, inadequate resources, and flooded or impassable roads delaying access to emergency scenes. The comments follow last week's devastating fire at the rubber market and the widespread flooding that affected parts of the capital. Chief Fire Officer of the Ghana National Fire Service, Daniela Mausi Nto, has been speaking to Stephen Mensah on the sidelines of an ongoing probe into the causes of the two incidents.
That's why we are here. We need to do evaluation. At least I can say one or two. Because of the floods, the road accessibility was a problem, and the uniforms, the personnel too had challenges with the rains. Because it was raining and we were putting off these fires, and then the floods. We realized that we couldn't do as much as we felt. We did our best though, but with the challenges, we need some logistics, of which that is why we are here to talk about it and see how best to work around it. I realized we did very well.
and it really helps the Ghanaian society. And I'm very grateful the Ghanaian society are trying to now see the good work that the fire service is doing, and we are very grateful. We need your support. When you come to the scenes, you are not enemies. We expect you to always support us as a people so that we can do whatever is expected of us. We are very happy to see some of these community people trying to assist in so many ways.
The fire service has been detailing measures to help prevent or reduce the impact of such incidents in the future.
The logistics are numerous, but then so far so good. Very soon I'll be going outside with the team to inspect some engines, not only engines, other equipment that would benefit us. We've written our proposals, and I think the government has done well. Next week they're about to be going to inspect those equipment, and when it's brought, I know we can do more than we are expected now.
Talking about people attacking us, I think the opportunity has come for them to see the other side of Ghana National Fire Service. In fact, I have personally instructed that water be sent to places like Alaju and other places where the flood has been affected, so that they can we can get them some clean water to wash themselves, wash children, their clothing, and tidy up the place. In fact, I have gone to VIP, organized a cleanup to VIP, a circle to flush the whole area of the mud. I have gone to other industries, well, a whole lot. As I speak, the fire tenders are so busy in town working to make sure that debris are cleared. So I think with this one, they will see that if they had killed us yesterday, today they wouldn't have had a server.
Pause returns shortly after this break.
Bad. I cannot believe.
We started this journey 8-9 years ago, and then also we went for a show. At that time, when we're playing, he heard us playing, and then he was like, the guys are good.
With us, it's been like you always have to be on your toes to learn.
He said that. I used to proud. I tell my head because the way boy, I leave your
Most of the songs that we play out there try to change one or two things to make it fresh from other previous performances.
Baby, don't take it from me. Believe it.
Democracy is by choice, not cash, not coercion, not corruption. Vote buying silences the will of the people. Unchecked illicit political financing weakens the very sovereignty of a state. Democracy falters when everyone's choice is compromised. An unprecedented multimedia politician-citizen forum brought to you by Joy News Impact Makers Foundation. This community-level engagement will spotlight illicit political financing, explore its implications, and proffer solutions to safeguarding Ghana's democracy. Democracy is not for sale on Joy News, Adom TV, Joy FM, Adom FM, and across our social media platforms.
In a world where truth is contested, platforms are powerful, and democracy is under pressure, what shapes the story? The University of Media Arts and Communication, through its School of Journalism and Media Studies, invites you to the State of Journalism, Media and Communication Conference 2026. Theme: Navigating the Future, Journalism, Media and Communication in a Dynamic World. Join global thought leaders, including the Vice-Chancellor of UNIMAC, Professor Eric Opoku-Mensah, Rector Professor Christiana Hammond, and Professor H.A. Sikanku, Dean of the School of Journalism and Media Studies, Professor Gregory Gonwi, Associate Professor at California State University, Juliet Amwa, Country Director, Emerging Public Leaders, Ghana, Kunle Adebajo, Investigations Editor, Professor Abena Enimwa Yeboah-Bain, Dean, School of Information and Communication Studies, University of Ghana, and Ryan Kellett, 2025 Nieman Beckman Klein Fellow at Harvard University, for 2 days of powerful conversations on AI and the future of journalism, journalistic professionalism in Africa, media democracy and civic culture, fact-checking, misinformation and press freedom. Keynote speaker is Professor Christopher Rhodes of Harvard University and columnist with Al Jazeera. The conference chair is UNIMAC Vice Chancellor. Be a part of the conversation shaping the future of media.
Ghana has $Eurobond payment, a move expected to strengthen investor confidence and reinforce the country's economic recovery. In a statement released today, the Ministry of Finance confirmed that the payment, made ahead of schedule, comprised over $500 million in principal and $174 million in interest. The ministry says Ghana has now paid more than $2.1 billion to Eurobond holders since January last year. The latest settlement reduces Ghana's external debt burden and strengthens investor confidence. We'll hear from an economist on the broader implications for the economy. But first, data and research analyst here at Joinis, Anthony Menu, is joining us via Zoom with the background of Ghana's Eurobond repayment since the restructuring. Tony, take us through Ghana's Eurobond repayment since the debt restructuring.
We actually restructured some $13 billion in the Eurobond side, and there was an agreement for bondholders to actually exchange their old bonds for new ones with longer days of maturity. And also immediately after the deal, since then, Ghana has paid some $2.5 billion in the Eurobond obligations. The first payment was actually made in October 2024, where we paid some $475.6 million. In 2025, we actually made $349.5 million. It's expected to be some $1.4 billion. But government made an earlier $709 million ahead of schedule in December 2025, leaving the $700 million that we have seen the government paying this month in July.
So does this mean Ghana is ready to return to the international bond market?
Credibility with international investors. However, I believe there is more that we can do in terms of the external shocks, and the exchange have been seeing some comments being made by the finance minister early this year that Ghana was not really ready to go onto the Eurobond market this year. This was also agreed by the International Monetary Fund in their fifth review, where they indicated that Ghana should be going onto the Eurobond market for financing starting 2028, Ken.
Anthony Menu is a Joinis research and data analyst. Thank you, Anthony. Now, the Esunafo North Municipal Assembly in the Ahafo region has processed several sanitation offenders to face the court in Gwoso next week, a major environmental crackdown which has received strong backing from stakeholders. Officials say years of public education have failed to curb rampant illegal dumping and littering, forcing the Assembly to trigger its strict legal bylaws. The move is aimed at punishing violators and serving as a stern warning to others. Emmanuel Edu-Jemfi has more.
The Sunafunov Municipal Assembly is turning to the law to fix environmental lawlessness. Backed by Section 181 of the Local Governance Act 2016, the Public Health Act 2012, and the Criminal Offences Act 1960, authorities maintain they have the full statutory power to prosecute anyone compromising public health. Rejoice Intiamwa is the Sunafunov Municipal Environmental Health Officer.
This time around, we are enforcing the law by sending people to court. Just recently, the cleanup exercise that we had, some of the store owners did not come and participate. Next week, we are sending all those sanitary offenders to court, and also those community members who don't want to clean their environment, who don't want to participate in cleanup exercise. They are all involved, that we are arranging them before the court by next week. And we believe to serve as a deterrent to other people.
The announcement was made during an accountability town hall meeting organized by ILC Ghana, the Ahafo Regional Coordinating Council, and the Municipal Assembly. Gwoso is currently battling a severe water shortage, open defecation, and blocked waterways. Residents, including persons living with disabilities, voice their grievances.
If you look at the water facilities where they are located, you realize that most of them are not disability friendly, and therefore we find it difficult to assess those points.
Service providers promise that contractors will soon return to finish the stalled Gwoso water project.
The delay in the reconstruction of the Gwoso water system, and the assurance we've received from our head office is that contractors are coming back on site to continue the construction.
Efua Poma Angwade, a programs officer with ILC Ghana, noted that the forum successfully achieved its purpose by identifying critical gaps in WASH and providing potent solutions.
This meeting has been able to achieve its main purpose of creating a platform to provide immense engagement between citizens, authorities within the Asunafo North, as well as service providers within this district. The main solution that was also observed within this engagement was there's a need for an improvement in communication among the three stakeholders. We believe that service provision involves the engagement of the various stakeholders. An effective work between these stakeholders would actually bring an improvement within the service provision.
By enforcing these criminal prosecutions next week, the Assembly hopes to restore institutional respect, protect public health, and ensure that future offenders think twice before breaking the law. Emmanuel Edu-Jemfi, Joy News, Gwoso.
The Ghana Health Information Management Association, GIMA, has ended its 11th annual general meeting in Bolgatanga with a renewed call for stronger digital health systems to improve healthcare delivery and decision-making. The conference assessed the implementation of the Ghana Health Information Management System, with GIMA President Richard Delali Ahedo saying it offered an opportunity to identify gaps and strengthen health information management to enhance quality healthcare.
The four-day conference brought together health information management professionals, policymakers, and development partners to explore the role of health information management in strengthening Ghana's healthcare system. Speaking at the conference, President of the Ghana Health Information Management Association, Richard Delali Health Information Management System.
This AGM, the team is actually centered on the implementation of the GIMS and the role of the health information professionals. So we have gathered here as health information professionals to look at the way forward for the implementation of the GIMS. And the GIMS is very key to the development of the nation because it will help us deliver quality health service to our people in all the health facilities across the country.
He also
Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, returned to the land in Wa, where he once worked as a cotton farm labourer, now transformed into the University of Business and Integrated Development Studies. As the university graduated 70 law students and over 200 postgraduate students while appealing for more lecture halls, Bagbin pledged 6 dialysis machines, support for a medical school in partnership with the UAE, and a commitment to address what he described as a historic injustice. Joining us is Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
At 6 years old, this university is already fighting for its life. Inadequate lecture halls and hostels, no fence wall, but on Saturday, it graduated 368 fighters, 70 of them from the University School of Law.
6 years into our existence, we do not have enough lecture halls and offices, no dedicated faculty and school blocks, no adequate sports facilities, no adequate residential facilities for students, and no residential accommodation for staff.
Apologies for the poor quality in sound there. Meanwhile, young Muslim women have been encouraged to pursue success beyond academic qualifications by developing strong leadership qualities rooted in Islamic values, integrity, and a clear sense of purpose. The call was made at the 2026 Career Guidance Program organized by Ideal Islama, where speakers emphasized that lasting career success is shaped not only by academic achievement, but also by discipline, moral character, and continuous mentorship from families and communities.
2026 Career Guidance Program, organized by the Ideal Muslima for female senior high school graduates, was held on the theme Beyond Certificates, Raising Visionary Muslima Leaders. The founder of the Ideal Muslima, Hajia Fatima Sahiba, stated that the event is aimed at equipping young Muslim women with the knowledge to make informed career choices.
As Muslims, Islam have a limit for women. So there's a saying that so as a Muslim, we are homemakers, and you need more to make your home beautiful. So certain job doesn't allow you as Muslims because you consider your faith, your dressing, the interest of the religion. So we put them together to give them that guidance, that direction, so they can take informed and professional decisions, keeping the deen in mind. Because certificates, when you check our team, we've taken a theme that's beyond the certificates, raising what a missionary Muslims with faith, purpose.
She also urged parents to extend career guidance beyond the classroom by creating opportunities for such conversations at home.
We are telling parents that career guidance program should be an ongoing conversation in their homes. And then we are calling teachers, parents, organizations, and even the government to support us, to join us, so that we build beautiful homes. If our children are well guided, if you don't make the right choice of career, it can affect your life, because interest is there, ability is there, challenges are there, and the religion as your life is there. So if these guidance are given, we hope, we trust that our children will take the right decision, and parents, the nation, the society.
Guest speaker and medical doctor Dr. Hamdia Anas encouraged participants to pursue excellence in their chosen professions while remaining grounded in Islamic knowledge, ethics, and values.
Want our future generation, we should have a lot of Muslims in the higher institution, Muslims who our younger generation can look up to, and then know that, oh, I have a Muslim leader who can help me. I'm not going to have those challenges of not being able to practice my deen properly whilst working or whilst in the process of pursuing my career.
Some participants also shared their key lessons from the program.
Learned about how to balance your career and family. So family is important and career is important. So we shouldn't overlook one to the other. We are supposed to balance the two of them.
I learned about you having a mentor or taking a mentor. So let's take it as you want to be a teacher in future. So you can take someone who has more aspects in there, in the teaching aspect, so the person can guide you through, so you become more perfect than even the person.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Nisal Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin returned to the land in Wa, where he once worked as a cotton farm labourer, now transformed into the University of Business and Integrated Development Studies, as the university graduated 70 law students and over 200 postgraduate students. While appealing for more lecture halls, Bagbin pledged 6 dialysis machines, support for a medical school in partnership with the UAE, and a commitment to address what he described as a holistic and historic injustice. Joy News' Upper West Regional Correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Wa.
At 6 years old, this university is already fighting for its life. Inadequate lecture halls and hostels, no fence wall, but on Saturday, it graduated 368 fighters, 70 of them from the University School of Law.
6 years into our existence, we do not have enough lecture halls and offices, no dedicated faculty and school blocks, no adequate sports facilities, no adequate residential facilities for students, and no residential accommodation for staff.
So, Vice Chancellor Professor Emmanuel Kenchiwe-Derebele turned to the President and to the man sitting right at his back.
We respectfully appeal to you and His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana to accord priority to upgrading the university's infrastructure through a bold and a strategic financing mechanism like the Big Push Initiative for roads.
Speaker of Parliament Alban Sumana Kinsport Bagbin didn't sugarcoat it. He called UBITS what it is.
The then toothless baby was fed roasted bambara beans. And yet, we expected it to survive.
Prof from UDS with no milk, but Bagbin says the baby lived.
So it is only through tenacity that this university survived and is growing into a solid, strong, competitive, and internationally recognized academic institution.
Speaker Bagbin didn't come empty-handed. He brought law books and promises, plus 6 dialysis machines for the regional hospital and a medical school deal with the UAE.
I've been assisting in equipping the Upper West Regional Hospital to qualify it for the status of a teaching hospital. As I speak to you now, 6 brand new dialysis machines with the necessary supporting logistics and consumables will be installed this year at the hospital through my efforts and support of the members of parliament of this region. We acquired them using our own resources. I also initiated a partnership between UBITS and the Medical University of Ajman in the United Arab Emirates, aimed at opening up a medical school to lead the university to train critical health personnel for the Upper West region and beyond.
Governing Council Chairman Dr. Benjamin Kumbur says the biggest win is already here: legal reform.
The legal profession occupies a central place in democratic governance and national development. Lawyers serve as the defenders of the constitutional order, protectors of human rights, promoters of justice, and custodians of the rule of law. A strong, credible justice system is indispensable to economic growth, investor confidence, social stability, and democratic consolidation.
Ubits Law School is now one of just 19 in Ghana allowed to run the new pre-bar course. Last year, 70% of their first graduates passed into the Ghana School of Law. But for students like law valedictorian Roger Yelkongwen Zolkaere, the struggle is still real.
For our weekend students, we had to combine professional obligations with this academic rigor. Many travel long distances, sacrificing comfort in pursuit of this noble goal. Yet, through determination and perseverance, we prevailed.
So, Speaker Babin left with a warning and a challenge.
You have to aspire to be better than the Right Honorable Agbambagui. That is what will make us proud. But if you are going to be like me, there is stagnation. Where we improve? So please, think big, dream big, be ambitious. Everything in the world is possible.
6 years on, Ubits is still the tubeless baby, but with seed money promised, a medical school coming, and a speaker who once couldn't afford his own bar photo, now fighting for them. Maybe this baby is finally getting milk. Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam. Wow.
Well, that's it for the Pulse this evening. For more news, you can log on to myjoyonline.com. The news team returns at 7 p.m. with News Prime. My name is Kenneth Gyasi. Have a good evening.
I didn't think it would happen to me, but it happened to me.
Ghana's digital economy is booming. Millions of transactions, billions of cities, a future powered by technology. But beneath the convenience lies a growing threat.
Now it's becoming more towards digital fraud. If we